These are the most heartbreaking moments in the history of football. Here are the last recordings of Emiliano Sala. Just hours before his plane crashed into the sea, the Argentine footballer had a good season and was looking to move from NES to Cardiff to complete his transfer to the Premier League. But on January 21st, 2019, everything would take a different turn. Before takeoff, his pilot, David Ibbotson, sent a voice message to his friend, complaining about the plane's conditions. But he wasn't the only one to notice the plane's conditions. Salah also sent this heartbreaking message.
Hola hermanitos, ¿cómo andan loquitos locos? Hermano.
Shortly after this message, the plane disappeared from the radar. Rescuers desperately searched the sea, but without success. The whole world was in shock, hoping for a miracle. Mbappe and other players donated $500,000 to fund the search. But after 2 weeks, the worst fears came true. The plane was found at the bottom of the English Channel, leaving relatives in the entire football world devastated. Just like Cristiano Ronaldo and his girlfriend Georgina in 2022, with deep sadness, we must announce that our little one has passed away. It is the greatest pain that any parent can feel. Days after the Manchester United versus Liverpool match, Ronaldo sat on the bench. But in the 7th minute, Liverpool fans sang, "You'll never walk alone" for him and his family. Our next heartbreaking story involves a young fan who had cancer. When Neymar still played for Santos, he visited the boy who had a huge request for his idol Neymar. "Next time you score a goal, can you dance like this?" Neymar couldn't say no to. And years later, Neymar saw this video. The boy no longer had cancer, which made Neymar much happier, and me too. But unfortunately, not all stories have a happy ending, similar to the story of young Bradley Lowry, a big fan of his favorite striker Jermaine Defoe. In 2017, Bradley was allowed to accompany Defoe onto the field, and Defoe took care of the boy, who seemed to have issues with noise. The sad news is that little Bradley was suffering from a rare oncological disease, and doctors had given him only a few months to live. Despite that, he continued to cheer for his favorite player during matches, and a friendship developed. Bradley passed away at the age of 6. I hope he continues to play football in heaven, perhaps with this legend, Diego Maradona, who passed away in 2020. His daughter knows him not only for his incredible skills and goals, but also for what he did for her as a father, and they always went to Boca Juniors matches together to cheer for them. So when the players dedicated the next goal to Diego, she couldn't hold back the tears. Losing parents is one of the worst things, and that's why for Frank Lampard, it was really difficult to hold back tears just a few days. After the passing of his mother in 2008, our next story also left everyone in awe. On June 12, 2021, it was the 41st minute of Denmark's first match at the European Championship against Finland, when Danish player Christian Eriksen suddenly collapsed on the field. He had a cardiac arrest. All fans fell silent, and everyone witnessed the struggle for the life of one of the best midfielders. Players gathered around to prevent cameras from filming him, and the football world hoped for a miracle. The captain was one of the first to notice Eriksen's collapse, and immediately took care of him to prevent him from choking on his tongue, providing first aid until the arrival of the medical team. He also took care of Eriksen's girlfriend, Sabrina, who had to witness the entire scene in the stadium. 15 minutes after the incident, he was taken off the field and transported to the hospital. The whole world hoped for good news, and after a few hours, the hospital released this message. Eriksen was alive and had even posted a selfie from the hospital, thanking everyone. The day after, dozens of flowers were sent to the hospital. Football is more than just a sport. Just look at Mike Kearney, a Liverpool fan who attends almost every match, even though he cannot see. He is blind, but his cousin is almost always beside him describing what happens on the field. When they celebrated exuberantly during a goal by Mohamed Salah, The camera happened to capture them, and the video went viral. When Liverpool found out, they invited him to meet Mohamed Salah in person. And honestly, how beautiful is it to see this? Speaking of heartbreaking images, the next one was the fault of the Germans in 2014 during the World Cup in Brazil. It was the semi-final, and Germany played against Brazil. I remember it as if it were yesterday. Germany knocked Brazil out of the tournament in the most brutal way possible. After 45 minutes, it was already 5-0 for Germany, and Joachim Löw couldn't believe it. He turned to his assistant coach. "Hans, tell me, is this reality? What is happening here?" Brazil's World Cup dreams were brutally shattered, and the result was this photo of the saddened Clovis Aosta Fernandes. This made us all sad, didn't it? Well, in this story, what hurts the most is that this player could have been saved. Pier Mario Morosini, during a match between Pescara and Lorno in 2012, at the age of 25, suffered a heart attack. All rescue efforts were in vain. Teammates and the audience could do nothing but watch helplessly as a life faded away. He could have been saved. Shortly afterward, an investigation was launched to determine who was responsible for his death. He had a 7% chance of survival, said the Lorno team doctor. As if that wasn't enough, a car blocking the ambulance access, and of the 3 doctors who assisted him, none of them used the D-free. Those who cared about him will carry the remorse for a long time. But Morosini was so well liked that many people from all over Italy attended the funeral in Bergamo to bid him a final farewell. Football is pure emotion, and you know who it was even more so for those players who have lived experiences on the edge. When they risk their lives, some in a plane crash due to illness or attempted murder, these are the players that were almost killed. You have to click to find out more.